How about that? Is that a bit better?
That's great. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
It's not distorting.
No, not at all. I think you're using quite a good microphone. I guess because it's
it's quite a deep. It's a
nice
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
That's great, James. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my little independent podcast recorded here. I'm in Ecuador right now. In the jungle.
Exactly. And is it Ivan or Ivan?
Ivan, you can call me Ivan.
Ivan,
yeah, of course.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So you're in Ecuador.
James. Yeah, I'm in Ecuador, South America. I was born and raised here. When I was 18, I moved to Germany. I lived there for 12 years. Now I'm back home. I'm doing some research here. That's why I live here. I'm originally from the capital city,
right?
Quito, but now I live here. Yeah, and producing this little podcast and just having a great time, meeting lots of musicians. I love R&B music. I love Motown. I grew up listening to Motown records. So when I heard your songs, I thought, this is great. I love that. Even though I'm more like into hip hop and electronic kind of stuff, but every once in a while I just love to hear those sweet little tunes like the ones you make. So that's great. Thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's great. How are you? How are things going over there? You are from England, right? Originally?
Yeah, I live in London. I'm North London. Yeah, it's all.
You're in London.
Yeah, it's a bit strange over here, like it is in most places around the world at the moment. But things are slowly getting back to normal. But
getting back to normal, absolutely. So you grew up playing rhythm and blues. Let's start from the roots, the very beginnings. How did you start making music? How did it all start?
Well, my grandfather, he was a saxophone player, and his children, my dad and brothers, they all had piano lessons as children, and they learned classical piano. But then, of course, they got into rock and roll music because they grew up in the 60s. So they learned the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and then and then a little bit later Elton John and Billy Joel. So all that music really was passed on to me when I grew up in the 90s, really, and I discovered people like Jerry Lee Lewis and Elton John and Rod Stewart. I love all that rock and roll music. And then I grew up playing and jamming to that music really as a kid.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Playing guitar too, or only piano?
A little bit. I play saxophone as well. I actually play now. My granddad, he's passed away, but I play his saxophone. I still have his saxophone, so I play his saxophone. And I used to jam on the saxophone along to people like, I don't know if you know Fats Domino, the old rhythm and blues piano singer. He only passed away not long ago. And Jerry Lee Lewis, all that kind of stuff, and used to jam on a little bit of guitar as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So you pretty much knew early on that you are going to make music the rest of your life, probably. So did you study music?
Yeah, so I studied classical piano as a kid, but
classical piano.
I mean, it was never really my love. I love it now, but I was never very good at it. I used to like to improvise and, play rock and roll and things like that. And then I studied classical music as an A-level student, which is like between 16 and 18 years of age. And then I went on to study at a conservatoire on saxophone and piano. I studied jazz, and then I moved over and did pop music. And then I didn't start writing music until my mid to late 20s, really. So that was kind of my timeline, really.
And in the meantime, were you playing? Did you have like bands when you were in?
Yeah. Growing up, I used to play in loads of bands, and I used to play in lots of pubs and clubs, and I used to play in a band with my dad and my brother. So we had a little band together. So my dad would play the bass guitar, I would play the piano, and my brother would play the drums. And we used to play like Elvis and things like that, and the Beatles. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, that must be just such an amazing experience to grow up surrounded by all this great music coming from Britain. Did you also go to concerts? What are some of the, I don't know, memories or experiences from your childhood that shaped kind of the way you develop into making music?
Yeah, I mean, all those artists that I mentioned already, I was lucky to go and see some of them as a kid. So my first ever concert, I don't know if you know, do you follow football in England?
Not too much,
Okay,
but
We have one of our famous football teams is from the middle of England, which is where I'm from, and they're called Aston
Uh-huh.
Villa. And the first concert I
Uh-huh.
ever saw was Rod Stewart at Aston Villa Stadium,
Oh,
a massive stadium, and I was only like
wow.
7 years of age.
7 years old.
Yeah, and I'm
You
seeing
were
this guy
you were
like
watching Rod Stewart live.
yeah, and he's like kicking
Wow.
footballs out into the crowd, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then I saw not long after that I saw Elton John with an orchestra and all this like
Fantastic.
amazing music, and then I saw Paul McCartney when I was about 12 or 13. He came out of retirement,
Yeah.
and I saw him, and he changed my life. Like he was and still is one of my big heroes, Paul McCartney.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
They're just, I mean, it's just so inspiring, I guess, to
oh yeah,
just see them there, right? Enjoying the music that they were making. And you were 7 years old
I was 7 years old when I first.
watching.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
unbelievable. And then I was reading a little bit about or your biography. You went to New York,
Yeah,
right? At some point in your career, can you tell us a little bit about that experience in New York? Did you play there?
yeah. So I played a few times in New York. Before I became really a songwriter and an artist, I played for other musicians and other artists. And there was a band I played for called the Ruin Brothers, which is spelled
Mhm.
RUEN. And
Yeah.
we did some shows in New York. We played a beautiful place called Webster Hall, which was amazing. Such a great experience. But I just love New York. I lived there for a few months.
Yeah.
Uh, some years ago now, but the music scene over there is amazing. So much live music going on over there, and
Uh-huh.
America in general. I love America. I've spent a lot of time in America, like recording and playing live over the years, and especially in
Great.
New York.
Yeah. Only East Coast, or did you go to the West
Um,
Coast, Los Angeles, California?
Yeah, so I obviously on the east, I went to Nashville and I recorded in Nashville, but I also went to Malibu, and I was lucky to record with Rick Rubin at the what's the name of his studio now? I've forgotten. At the Shangri-La
Wow.
Studios in Malibu.
Rick Rubin, the producer, the
Yeah,
famous one, really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, and we recorded
Oh,
there.
you met him.
Yeah, we
Wow.
we did a session with him, with the guys of the
Uh-huh.
band I just mentioned, and there was also we turned up
Uh-huh.
and Chad Smith was there out of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, really? That's one
Yeah,
of my favorite
yeah,
bands. So
yeah,
you met all those guys.
yeah,
Oh,
and
crazy.
then we had to do a recording session whilst they were there. It was
Uh-huh.
very, very an incredible experience. And actually, the week before, I think U2 had been in the studio, so
Uh-huh.
some of their stuff was still there, and we, we,
So
we stayed over, and it was
all
really
the greatest rock stars of
ah
all
yeah.
time. Yeah.
It really was. I feel so lucky to have just been there.
Yeah.
Actually went there twice, but I feel so lucky just to have been there once, to have recorded like
Yeah.
a real
Just to see them, the whole process.
yeah, and see
Yeah.
meet Rick Rubin and yeah, work with him.
Mm-hmm.
Really amazing.
Oh, that's an amazing one of your highlights, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you were kind of traveling, touring, playing a little bit in the USA, and then you go back to England. What year? What was this?
So with 5 years ago, actually, was when I did some
Five
of my
years ago.
first kind of playing. We played. I don't know if you know Austin City Limits.
Mm-hmm.
I played Coachella Festival.
You played
Um,
Coachella too. Mm.
yeah, I played Coachella. And actually, when I played Coachella, AC/DC were headlining. It was amazing. It really was incredible
Mhm.
to see AC/DC perform live. It was so loud.
And then your first single, when I think it's taking back my love, is it
Yeah,
the first single that was 4 years ago after you did all the USA
absolutely. Yeah.
trip.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I
Hmm.
recorded that, like, my music, like you say, is quite, rhythm and bluesy soul. It's quite old school sounding, so I recorded it
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
very kind of old studio in an old-fashioned way,
Yeah.
and then that luckily for me, got picked up by BBC. We have the BBC over here, and that got played
Great.
on quite lots of bits of radio and things like that, and also in Europe as well. So that was really fun, and it was kind of, yeah, rock and roll, kind of soul-y music, which is kind of what I love.
Yeah, that's great. And you have a new single, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it came out today. It came out today.
It came out today. Oh,
Yeah, it
so
came
it's
out
a
today.
world premiere
Yeah, it's a
that we
world
are going to
premiere.
listen on the podcast too.
Yeah, yeah. That
That's
one,
awesome.
yeah, that came out.
Yeah.
I actually recorded part of that. I recorded in Nashville. which was
Nashville.
yeah, really amazing experience to work out there, just with some amazing singers, like gospel singers. I'm massively influenced by gospel music, so to go to America
Yeah,
and
gospel.
work with some of those amazing singers really was incredible.
That's amazing. What will be, right? That's the name of
Yeah,
it, or your latest singles. It's
yeah,
out now. Yeah. Is there a story behind the song, the name of the song? That what will be?
yeah, absolutely. Well,
Where did you get your inspiration from, other than gospel, of course?
yeah, I think really I've always had this saying in my head that I always think everything happens for a reason. I don't know
Yeah,
if you think that or not, but I always think most things happen for a reason, and I always think if I get disappointed with something, maybe if I've written a song and it doesn't do so well, or people don't like it, or whatever, really, I always think, well, there's a reason why that's happening, and I always think, well, what will be will be. So I thought it was time that I should write a song about that, and it's quite a happy song as well. And
yeah,
I'm all
yeah.
about uplifting music, which I think gospel music is very uplifting. And I've also released it onto vinyl, actually, on a label in Germany, which is it's coming out this month on vinyl as
Uh,
well.
oh, that's awesome. We're gonna
Yeah,
have on vinyl too.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's great. Sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Did you or do you do anything? Do you have like are you making music all the time? Is like your, so to say, your job, or do you have like other things that you do, other activities, or you
Um,
are a full time musician?
full-time musician, yeah.
Full time.
I mean, at the moment during the lockdown period, we had. Did you have a lockdown in Ecuador as well? Like
Yeah, yeah,
you had
yeah.
one as well, yeah? Because I know
Absolutely.
it's been different
Yeah.
in different places around the world. But yeah, I mean, at the moment things are a little bit strange, and we're not really sure when live concerts and gigs are going to be back. So it's
It's gonna take a while, I guess. Huh?
yeah, I think so. It's going to
Mhm.
take a little while, so we'll see what happens. But I've been working a lot at home. I have a little studio set up at home, with my
That's
piano
great.
and guitar, so I can do demos and I can be doing little videos and things like that. So,
Making music all the time.
yeah, I'm lucky to have that kind of setup at home.
That's great. Are you doing live shows too, like on Facebook or Instagram?
Um,
Have you done that?
Yeah, so I did. At the start of the lockdown, I did about 4 Facebook live shows, and then I had a break from it. But with the vinyl, everyone that's purchased the vinyl, they get a link to a private concert, which is happening on the 26th of June,
Oh,
at
awesome.
7 p.m. in the UK. And it's going to be a little bit different because I'm preparing kind of lots of different clips of me playing saxophone and guitar and a bit of bass guitar and piano, and making it a little bit
Hmm.
like a concert, kind of thing, as best
Great.
we can
Sounds fantastic.
online.
Yeah. For the ones who buy your vinyl, it's
Yes.
coming out next week, or
It's
when we expect
You can actually order it now, the vinyl, online.
we can order now?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can order it
Where
now.
can we find your music? Are you on Bandcamp too, or
I believe the record label are selling it on Bandcamp, but which is Légère Records, but my
Légère
which
Records?
is Legere.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
my website is jamessayermusic.com, and all my social
Yeah.
media is James Sayer Music, which is where the vinyl is available. Mu-
JamesSayer.com. Yeah, you're
James
on
Sayer Music.
Instagram too.
Yeah, all
At
James Sayer
yeah,
Music.
James Sayer Music. So
Yeah,
can people find you? Have you been to Latin America? Have you
I
ever been here, around
I
here?
yeah. So on my Instagram, I have quite a few followers from Brazil. So I've played.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. So Brazil,
Yeah,
that's correct, isn't it? Brazil is in Latin America. I'm not just
yeah,
saying.
South America. Yeah, yeah.
So
Brazil.
I've
Yeah.
played in Brazil twice before. Actually, I've played in
Oh, cool.
Rio. I've played in
Rio.
Vitoria. I've played in São Paulo. Yeah, so I love Brazil. I think but I'd love to come and play more in South America.
It's a nice country.
Obviously it's very hard being independent artist. I have a few different fans in different countries, and they say, "Oh,
Absolutely.
come to Mexico or come to this country," which I'd love to do, of course. But I hope to in the future.
Hmm. Hmm. That's great. So, um, alive, making music. What's sort of your, I don't know if philosophy is the right word, on life as a musician? I'm always interested, like to know what what does music mean to us musicians, because I also make music. So
Ah,
what what makes a musician a good one, so to say? What makes a band a great band?
Well, I think it can depend on many things really, but I think for me, um, I'm all about the melody and the chords
Yeah,
to start with
yeah,
in a song. But then,
hmm
I mean, I love lots of different styles of music. So I love, obviously, I've mentioned already, I love rhythm and blues, gospel, but I love
yeah.
funk music as well. I love rock and
Funk.
roll. I like some rock music. So for me, if it sounds good, that's the main thing. Like it can be any style, but as long as it sounds good, I think for me, if it sounds good on the ears, then I think you're onto a good thing, really.
Yeah, yeah. Does music really sound better on vinyl? Do you think the vinyl sound
I
will be
think
last forever?
I think there's something about vinyl. I think it depends on the way it's recorded as well, maybe, and what
Yeah,
instruments are used. But there is something amazing about hearing the kind of crackle, and then you hear the music come through the speakers. It's a very, I don't know, yeah, it's a very old school way of playing music, but I
absolutely.
really
Yeah,
love it.
the old-fashioned way. Is there something else you like to do the old-fashioned way, or are you like? Because me, for example, I'm a very techy guy. I'm
Uh-huh.
really into technology, and
Yeah,
sometimes I think, oh, sometimes I prefer, I don't know, have a chat on the normal
yeah.
landline phone or something like
Yeah,
that.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I'm totally with you on that. I think,
yeah,
I mean, the way I record my music is very old-fashioned, like as in not
yeah,
like I have the whole band in one room. So I have the
yeah,
bass player, the drummer, guitarist, and me all in the same room, and we all record it at the same time. Whereas I
yeah.
know a lot of people don't do it like that anymore, which is obviously fine, But for me, I find it very therapeutic. I love feeling
Absolutely.
the groove of the band and the
Yeah,
vibe in the
yeah,
room. There's something,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I love that.
There is something about it, right? Because I
Yeah,
mean, I think things are happening just so fast right now in the world that
yeah,
like sometimes you just gotta settle down and like play with people, get together and
yeah, absolutely.
jam around, just
Oh yeah, you can't beat a good
yeah,
jam, can you?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's difficult now. Many people are making music on cell phones nowadays. I
Yeah,
think it's great. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's great, but
absolutely,
at the
absolutely.
same time, I think like, well, it's maybe it's a little bit too fast.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
great that
yeah.
everyone now
I
has.
don't know how old are you, but I don't know if you are like in this. I'm in my mid 30s now, so I sort of have a clear understanding of life before and after internet, and to
Right.
see and compare kind of things.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm 32, and I'm like you.
Yeah. Oh, we are
I
almost. Mm.
yeah, I kind of remember that kind of pre-internet, and it was a lot harder as well, for people to have the opportunity before all this technology, really.
Mm.
I think it's great that everyone's got an opportunity now to be able to record music and make music.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. There is so much music out there now.
Yeah,
So much great stuff too.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Social media. Are you advertising on Instagram? I don't remember if I found out about your music on Instagram or Bandcamp, because those
Um,
are like my main sources of
ah,
music now.
I'll find you on Instagram. I'll have to find you on Instagram, but yeah, that's kind
Yeah,
of the main platform that I use really. I mean, I use
yeah,
Facebook a little bit as well, but my
yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
which is James Sayer
Instagram
Music,
is
that's the
it's
main
pretty
one.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Good source
it
to
really
find
is.
music nowadays, which is cool.
Yeah, it
And
really is.
Bandcamp, those are like my
Right.
favorites.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting because I haven't looked into Bandcamp so much. I know
Mm,
some people use it, so
that's pretty cool.
I'll
Yeah,
have to look
yeah.
into it a bit more.
And you can sell your stuff there too, like
Yeah. Yeah.
vinyls and
Yeah.
merchandise.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, great, amazing. So what's coming up next? So we have the new single coming out today. Career-wise, where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
Well, I guess I was in the middle of doing some support tours and then festivals this year,
Hmm.
but obviously that's all been cancelled now. So
Yeah,
I don't. I really. I'm finding it hard to see what the next year or so is going to look like now.
it's hard to say now.
It's hard to see. I mean, I'm quite a newish artist compared to maybe some of the other artists you've spoken to. So I'm at the earlier stages. So I've just finished my first album. I was in the
Mm,
process of about to promote it and play live with it, but now, so I think things are just going to have to kind of take a back seat and then resume things slowly, and then hopefully get back to where I was within a year or so. You'll see. I mean, I feel lucky that I'm just healthy at the moment, touch wood, because
Absolutely.
and I think
Absolutely.
it's a bit disappointing that I can't be doing what I want to do, but I'm healthy, and I'm very lucky that I get to still play some music at home, and then hopefully next year
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
lots
Yeah.
of different places.
Yeah. So and talking about health, how
Yeah.
do you keep yourself healthy during this pandemic? What did you do other than make music? Of course, were you actually allowed to go out and stuff like making
Well,
exercise outdoors or something?
yeah, actually, the UK, we were quite lucky that we didn't have a really strict lockdown, whereas Italy and Spain, they had a really
Yeah,
strict lockdown. So
yeah.
we could still go out for an
Over
hour.
here, the same. I
Uh,
didn't left the house like in 8 weeks or something.
oh wow,
Just once a week.
it's
Yeah,
tough, isn't it?
it's tough. Yeah,
Yeah, we were
yeah,
allowed
yeah.
an hour every day to go out, and we could go to the shops
Oh,
once a
okay.
day as well. So
Mm,
it wasn't a tough lockdown, to be honest. So I think we were quite lucky, I think.
mm.
And having the piano here is a real big help. It's a big help to be able to just
Yeah, that's
play
great.
piano and sing and write songs. And I've got my guitars and saxophone. So, in terms of making music, it hasn't really
Yeah.
affected me too much.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I wish I can come one of these days to London and see one of your shows. I've never
Oh
been to
yeah.
London. I only was like one day, mostly at the airport, but I really want to go there.
Oh
There's so
yeah.
much music there. Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole history and like so much I want to do there.
Oh yeah. You must come to London and check it out, because yeah, it's a very special. It's a special city, and
It's a
there's a
special city. Yeah,
yeah, and there is a lot of music here still. So there's plenty to see and plenty to do.
absolutely, absolutely. So I don't know. Is there anything else you want the world to know about James and your music?
Well, it's just been a real pleasure to chat to you about the music, and obviously, I'm just kind of fingers crossed for the future at the moment. So I'm just hoping I can spread some joy around the world with my music, hopefully, and hopefully,
Yeah,
more and more people can hear it, and who knows, one day I come and play in South America, because
yeah,
I'd love to come back, because I think it's such a
absolutely.
amazing culture. And the thing about I found about South America is the amount of they embrace their kind of traditional music, but they embrace the Western music so much. Like they still
Mhm.
love like the classic artists like the Elton John and the Beatles. They love it so much,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and they know all the words of those songs. All age groups as well. I found in Brazil.
they love them.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. They're great artists, great rhythms too. Like we have some serious group. Like in
yeah.
salsa music or
Oh yeah,
those kinds of things.
yeah.
It's really interesting. It's hard to play too. I think
Oh
you
yeah.
really have to learn
I'd love to be able
like
to play
those.
that kind of music. I really would.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
fingers
awesome.
crossed I can make it back soon.
Absolutely. So for now, I think we can call it a day, and I would love to end the show with one of your songs. We can listen to your new single, right?
Thank you. Yeah, that would be great. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Let's play it. Okay,
Thank you,
James. Thank
Ivan.
you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time. It was
I
a
appre
pleasure.
Thank you, Ivan.
Talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Thanks, Ivan.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
They say a lonely river runs to the sea. Which way I'm going is depending on me. Only vision will make me feel free. But what will be, will be. There's always more than enough thanks to be given. Another love song that needs to be written. Sing a truth we all can believe. But what will be, will be. Sing it out, hold my hand. Take a chance, please don't kick in the can. We're all given just what we all need. But what will be just a simple man doing what I do. I've got the heart to sing a song for you, and your song sure does something to me. But what will be, will be. Sing it out, hold my hand, take a chance, please don't kick out the can. We're all given just what we all need, but what will be, will be. So good, so good.
Love is so good.
So good, so good.
Love is
so let it be now.
So good, so good, yeah. Love is